There's been a lot of talk recently about the northern lights. They've been out and about. They've been abundant, you could say, and they've been flashing some cool colors like pink, different than, the normal green that you may be used to seeing. How does this all happen? How does it work? What's the science behind it? Is there a special reason why they're really intense right now? We're going to dive into that at the University of Northern British Columbia and talk about Plaid Friday on the show as well. All that and more coming up on CKPG Today. Hey, down here, that's more like it. There's a lot going on in the sky right now when it comes to northern lights, aurora borealis. But here's what you need to know. Well, Prince George is one of the better places in Canada. You can actually see them. You can see them right from the top of University Hill here in PG, actually. But how do they happen? How do they work? What's the science behind this? And why is right now such a great time to see them? We're going to learn about that today at the University of Northern British Columbia with Dr. Eric Jensen. He is an astronomer. All right, let's go meet him. Now inside UBC to learn a little bit more about the northern lights, and that's aurora borealis, act of silence, with Dr. Eric Jensen. Thank you so much for making the time to chat.
Sure.
Yeah, this is the teaching and learning building after all, so I feel like we're doing a little bit of learning together today.
Sure, okay.
You teach astronomy here at UBC.
Yep.
Talk to me a little bit about what it is, because there's not a department, but it's something you teach.
Right, so the physics department offers a general astronomy course for kind of what I'd call general interest for any student in the university. And so it just covers what I would think of as the basics of the science of different aspects of astronomy. And certainly one of the interesting parts is, how the sun works.
Yep.
And the things that we can see in the sun.
How long have you lived in Prince George? As long as you've been at UBC here?
Yep. I've been in Prince George and UNBC for almost 30 years now.
Wow. Okay. So you know this area like the back of your head. Now, what would you say about, viewing northern lights? Because it's supposedly one of the top places in Canada to see them.
Yeah, it's a pretty ideal location generally. I mean, number one for the northern lights, the further north you are, the better. And so we've got that advantage of being, in the northern part of the province, or more northern part of the province. And then the second ingredient is to have nice clear skies. And then finally have dark skies.
Yes.
And so, even when the northern lights are pretty bright, they're tricky to see from, downtown.
Yep.
But if you can get a few miles out of town and find a dark location, then it's pretty good. So in that sense, Prince George is a pretty good spot to see northern lights.
Can you remember how many times you've seen the northern lights here in Prince George? Probably
now it's quite a few. Certainly in the past couple of years, there's been a lot going on, so we've seen them multiple times.
And recently here, Eric, there's been a lot of talk about the northern lights because there's a lot going on. Tell me about the science that's going on right now here, because they're getting a lot of press right now.
Yeah, I mean, certainly this week there was a big event.
Yeah.
But that's actually part of a larger, what we call solar cycle.
Okay.
I think a lot of people might be familiar with this idea of sunspots on the sun, but those occur on a roughly 11-year cycle.
Okay, wow.
And so we've just, I think, passed the peak of that cycle. And so that's what we call the maximum solar cycle of the number of sunspots. And a lot of this activity that we see with the aurora is pretty closely tied to what's going on with the sunspots on the sun.
Interesting.
So just the past couple of years have been pretty active. We'll probably be pretty active for another 6 months to a year.
Oh, okay.
And then it'll probably die down again until the next solar cycle kicks in. These things can affect us on Earth in pretty significant ways that people may or may not be as aware of, right?
Yeah, talk to me about that. How can it affect us?
Yeah, so the current, activity with the sun has, a number of implications for us. So for instance, one of the things that folks are concerned about are how the aurora can actually interfere with our electrical grid networks.
Is this it's not a conspiracy, it's true?
Oh no, this has happened.
Okay.
There was a big outage in Quebec a couple of decades ago that happened from this kind of thing. And so it's really just been in the last few decades that folks have been more aware that they need to factor that in when they're thinking about how our electrical network and electrical grid works.
Interesting. Okay. The other question probably lots of people have at home is, how do you track these northern lights? When can you see
Right.
them? How can you see them? So
Right.
you got some websites to show off. Should we look at that first?
Yeah, so I can sort of describe that. I mean, because now we're so much more aware
Yeah.
of what we call solar weather. Now there's a bunch of satellites in space that are really dedicated to watching the sun 24/7. And so we have a lot better real-time information about what's going on with the sun. And so they watch for these events and happen in real time. And so that's why the aurora from the last couple of days, we knew about it from about Monday morning, I would say, that they became pretty sure that these were coming.
Okay, that's
they'd
why.
spotted them. Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder why we got the advance notice.
Yeah.
I
So
thought
now, now we do get this advance notice, because in the past, like only a couple of decades ago, it was basically no notice.
Miss an episode? That's okay, life gets busy. We get it. Or maybe you didn't miss anything, but you're here to watch that one feature again because honestly, it was that good. No judgment. Here's the good news. You can relive every moment of the CKPG Today Show whenever you want. Head over to ckpgtoday.ca, click on the Today Show tab, and voila. So grab some snacks, kick back, and binge away because let's face it, life's too short to miss out on great local TV.
Like I said, there's a lot of observations being done of the sun 24/7.
Yeah.
And so those observations feed into these models that we have for how these explosions on the surface of the sun will propagate outward. And so we call these, when we get this burst of stuff coming from the sun that reaches the Earth, we call these coronal mass ejections.
Okay.
It's a big puff of ionized gases, mostly hydrogen, that gets kicked out from the sun at high speed.
Wow.
And coming very fast, depending on circumstances, takes a day or two to get here from the sun.
That's crazy.
Which is really fast.
That is.
But these animations kind of show
Oh, that is super cool.
these bursts of material coming up from the sun. And you can see in this animation, we have the sun at the center.
Yep.
And then the Earth is this black dot on the right.
Yeah.
And so you can see how these...
Wow. It's just pulsating. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, what happened in the past couple of days is that there were two explosions in quick succession.
Yeah.
Just like half a day apart or so.
Yeah.
And that was why we had such bright aurora.
Wow.
Effectively what happens is the first one kind of clears out the path of anything that might have been there beforehand.
Gotcha.
And then the second one is just like
Straight
blasting
fuel.
along, straight through, because it's had that path cleared by the prior one.
Huh.
If you look at the sun through a telescope, like I said, people I think are familiar with this idea of sunspots, which are these regions where the sun is a little bit dark.
Got a little acne.
Yeah, it's a little cool. It's cooler there. The reason it's cooler there is because there's actually very strong magnetic fields that are popping out of the surface of the sun at those locations. The sun has a very powerful magnetic field.
Yeah.
I mean, people know that the Earth has its own magnetic field, but the sun's magnetic field is many, many orders of magnitude stronger.
Interesting. Okay, that's why they're like, don't go near it. You will burn alive and you'll get sucked in.
So yeah, and also importantly, the sun is not a solid object like the Earth.
Right.
And so as it rotates, it doesn't all rotate at the same rate. Like the insides are rotating at a different rate than the outside.
Oh, interesting.
So the magnetic field lines are getting tangled up as this is happening.
Huh.
And
It's
that's,
like, wow, that's crazy to think about.
so it's actually why we have this solar cycle, is that at the end of the solar cycle, the sun kind of resets, but then over time it kind of tangles up again more and more.
Huh.
And what we're seeing in the sunspots is this effect of the tangling up. The way it was explained to me by a solar physicist was, think about like having a rubber band.
Okay.
And you take a rubber band and you wind it up.
Yep.
It gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And eventually it snaps.
Yep.
That's what's happening with these magnetic field lines.
Oh, okay.
It's getting wound up because of this, what we call differential rotation of the sun.
Yep.
But then ultimately that tension is too large and it snaps, and there's this tremendous explosion at the surface of the sun. But it's a explosion of magnetic energy. So this just kind of visually shows this explosion, this what's called the prominence, or the solar flare. And then this material can fly off, and you see in this diagram, you've got this wall of material from this coronal mass ejection. But importantly for the Earth has its own magnetic field.
Of course.
And most of the time, that's very protective of the Earth in terms of preventing this material from reaching the Earth. And that's important for us.
Of course,
we don't want to be constantly irradiated by this stuff. The Earth's magnetic field actually kind of moves in response to that pulse of material. And then some of those stuff, the charged particles, follow the Earth's magnetic field lines. And because the magnetic field lines, like a bar magnet, come out of the north and south poles, most of the material that reaches the Earth near the north and south magnetic pole.
Interesting. So that's why it's the closer you are to one of those, the better chance you got to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're seeing right now is getting towards the tail end of what we call a solar cycle.
Gotcha.
And for hundreds of years, astronomers have been keeping track of sunspots and things that are associated with these kinds of phenomena. And so right now, we're in what's called solar cycle 25, which is just the numbering scheme that they use to categorize them. And roughly speaking, we think it peaked in about the last year.
What would your number one tip be for someone trying to see the Northern Lights?
Yeah, number one, I mean, there's a variety of apps that you can get on your phone and things that can kind of give updates about what they call the space weather forecast.
Okay.
And so just like in the past few days, typically speaking, if there's a big event coming, we might know a day or maybe 2 days in advance. And so if there's a notice about an upcoming potential for an aurora, that usually gets mentioned there. And then the best thing to do would be to just try to arrange to be somewhere a little bit dark.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's your top spot to watch the Northern Lights?
Yeah,
in PG?
I mean, it depends where you live. I mean, in Prince George, I mean, I live in College Heights, so we often go out towards West Lake because it gets dark enough out that way. You know, if you're up in the heart, you'd probably just head a little bit north and it'd be pretty dark up there, right?
Thank you for your time today, Eric. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, my
Great to
pleasure.
learn about the Northern Lights, and something that definitely you can go and enjoy here in Prince George, for the next little bit. And then, they'll take a break for a few years. But hey, enjoy them while you can.
Campus Connections is brought to you by the University of Northern British Columbia, where the North inspires new ways of thinking.
One of the best events of the year is back in Prince George. I'm talking about the Festival of Trees. It runs Wednesday to Sunday at the CN Center. And our tree here, just a little cat in the hat themed, is going to be there. Just wanted to tell you all about it. It's going to be mixed in with the other trees. But we have lots of great stuff included, including a big package from Save On Foods. So be sure to stop by, say hello to the cat in the hat tree and all the other great trees that make this festival what it is. And a big shout out to all of the students from Duchess Park who helped put this tree together along with our promotions team. A nice little added bonus to this year's display. Much like you are counting down Christmas at home, we are counting down Plaid Friday here in the studio because it's going to be a fantastic time to be downtown Prince George with Chrissy Berry from Downtown PG today to talk a little bit more about that. Thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And happy almost Plaid Friday.
Yes, happy almost Plaid Friday.
Yes. This is exciting. This year's Plaid Friday is like none other I've ever seen before. And I honestly couldn't be more excited to hear all about the extra things I still haven't heard about because there's just so much going on Plaid Friday.
There is, and so for anyone who's unfamiliar with the event, it's on Friday, which is the same day as Black Friday, but it's our downtown twist, I guess, on Black Friday, right? We have a lot of small businesses that have amazing products and they just can't compete with, the Amazons of the world, and we don't expect them to. So Plaid Friday really is our way of trying to help them. And so anyone who is caught downtown on the 28th wearing plaid or even just shopping local, you'll get some plaid bucks from us that will give you a discount at participating stores.
I think that's pretty awesome. You
Yeah.
hang out, you in your plaid, you have a bite to eat, you have a drink, you can do some shopping, a whole family outing.
100%, yeah. So Plaid Patrol walks up and down the streets downtown between 4 and 6, handing out plaid bucks. It's $5 off at participating businesses. We cover that cost for businesses, so that's kind of our little support piece. But there's definitely some changes this year just to keep it new, exciting, extend it. So we've heard the feedback. Sometimes people can't get down before 6 o'clock.
Yes.
So plaid bucks are valid on Friday, November 28th, but also on Saturday, November 29th.
Ah, okay.
And it just so happens the Civic Light Up is the same day as Plaid
Crazy.
Friday. Yeah, so we've really partnered with them to make sure that both events kind of get the most visibility. So they'll have their regular stuff going. If I'm not mistaken, the light up is after 6, but they can confirm those details.
Yeah.
But we will have a booth at the Civic Center, and so if you're not able to, find the Plaid Patrol between 4 and 6, just come see us at our booth. You can pick up plaid bucks. You can come down on Saturday and shop, and just kind of enjoy what's out there.
I love it. This is awesome. Plaid Friday, all about community, downtown Prince George. People get, can I get same day delivery? Well, guess what? If you buy local from a store, you get that.
You get to take it home right
You
away.
Get to take it home. There's nothing like the feeling, Chrissy, I keep telling people there's nothing like the feeling of going in a store and physically feeling what you're going to buy.
Yeah, and I think especially with holiday shopping, because this is usually the kind of the kickoff for that for those people who haven't started ahead of time.
Yeah, I'll start on Christmas Eve, but that's okay.
But there is something really fun and magical about leaving a store with a bunch of bags, knowing you're going home to wrap them and gift them to whoever, right? It's definitely a different experience than online shopping, and you're right, it doesn't matter about same day delivery because you're getting it right then and there.
You're getting it right then and there. Now, is there any special appearances, maybe by the big man himself, planned for Black Friday?
Yes, I have heard that Santa will be there. So they'll be part of the Civic Light Up. So it's not part of kind of what we're doing, but he will be there.
He'll be around.
There'll be, hot chocolate, sleigh rides, carolers.
Carolers.
Yeah, so
This is fun.
Yeah, the carolers actually walk with the Plaid Patrol and go in and out of businesses. So depending on where you're shopping, you might have carolers singing while you shop for your holiday gifts.
That's good. And if you're not wearing plaid, they'll boo you. Not actually. They won't do that.
No, definitely not.
They could. I mean,
Well,
if I'm not wearing plaid, feel free. Carolers, feel free.
yeah. But what we really want is to encourage shopping local, right?
Yes.
And so yeah, wearing plaid is great because it helps represent sort of the visual piece of this event. But as long as you're shopping local, we're definitely happy to give you some plaid bucks.
The other thing I feel like people don't realize, downtown Prince George is a big area, lots of blocks, lots of streets. Obviously, the hub will be around the Civic Light Up, and then down probably 3rd, 4th, Dominion, Brunswick. I think I'm in kind of
5th. Yeah.
5th.
Yeah.
I guess you could go all the avenues, but that's kind of what we just did. How many businesses are downtown Prince George? Because people always are surprised at the number. It's a lot higher than they think.
It is a lot higher than most people think. It's a lot higher than I thought before I got here. And so I don't know the exact number, but it's 400 and something, very close to 500 businesses downtown within our little boundary that we have.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot more than people think that there is. And I mean, what are you looking for? Because there's probably a shop downtown happy to get it for you.
Definitely. And we love to discover those on the show all year long. Happy Plaid Friday to you, Chrissy. Coming up, we'll see you downtown. Maybe we'll even bust some people ourselves with some plaid hanging around on Plaid Friday. When does it start? When can people show up?
So it starts at 4.
4,
plaid,
okay.
Like Plaid Patrol starts at 4.
Okay.
Some of us will have plaid antlers. Some of us will be decked out in head-to-toe plaid. Just look for us. There'll be 2 teams of 2.
Perfect.
We'll be out at 4.
Make a night of it. Come downtown, celebrate Prince George. Thanks so much for coming in today. And like I said, I couldn't be a little more excited for this year's version of Plaid Friday. So cheers.
Yeah, thanks.
Taking a look outside at our CKPG snapshot of the day from Wendy Lintonen, who spotted these frosty fungi at Sauchi Bay. It's near Fort St. James, of course. It is kind of magical what pokes through the frost, what's still around, what's still growing. We have had a bit of a warm start to the wintry season, but yeah, they're out there. Mushroom pickers, beware. They are still out there here and there. And as documented by Wendy, of course, in the snapshot today. Thanks so much for bringing us in, capturing the moment, and sharing it with us. Folks, we're looking for you to do the same. Snapshot@ckpg.com is our email to send your photos. Hey there, got an idea or suggestion for the show? Reach out and connect through our social media or send us an email at letstalk@ckpgtoday.ca.
Some stories that we look back on literally seem too good to be true. And this one, when I read the name of this taxi business in Vanderhoof, I thought it couldn't be true, but it is true. It was real news, not fake news. There was a bit of a case here in Prince George about a taxi driver from Vanderhoof and some people who were trying to do Uber before Uber was a thing. Anyways, have a look at this today on Local History.
Looking back to 2002, a Vanderhoof cabbie wanted to end pirates? It's true. His business called Hooterville Taxi was making some headlines here because there were some people who were stealing his business. At least that's what he came to Prince George to protest. Outside of a meeting at the Coast Inn of the North, he stood here. You can see the picture. And, well, in a quote, he called the man Mr. Invisible. That's because they weren't registered. They're just driving people around in Vanderhoof. And, well, people should have to use the registered company, right? Hooterville Taxi. Who wouldn't want to ride with Hooterville Taxi?
Imagine all the names in the world you can pick. Nechako Taxi, maybe Vanderhoof Taxi. Nope. He wanted Hooterville Taxi. Hey, you know, and some guys, hey, they got the mind of their own. Anyways, thanks so much for watching today. Don't forget, Plaid Friday is Friday. I guess that's self-explanatory, folks. It's going to be a great event with the Civic Light-Up and all the rest planned for this weekend. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you for more on the show tomorrow.